Howdy, how are you? Happy Friday. It's coaching from the Carpool. This is Leslie Hassler with your Biz Rules Business Coaching, and it has been quite a crazy 2 months, I gotta say. And I thought today's title was pretty entertaining. You know, it's like what's overwhelmed, overcommitted, and or intentional push. And I wanted to talk to you about the difference because I think as women, we're constantly portrayed as always being overwhelmed, overcommitted, and not having the ability to say no. I gotta tell you something. I can say no. Really can. I can say no nicely. I can say, use a Jim Rohn style of no. I can say no in a lot of different ways. But the last couple of months, I've been saying yes. I've been saying yes to a lot of different things. So if you've been with me, you know, even just semi-regularly, you know there's a lot going on. I have my book. I did I took a contract job at the beginning of August to offset my book, taking me out of my business and knowing that it was going to create a cash dip. So I did that. And then I wrote the book, and then school started. And then, the camera fell. We got a grant for NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners, here in DFW. And as president-elect, I spearheaded, along with a lot of other people, but spearheaded a one-day business conference, which was last Thursday. Friday, which was pretty cool, guys, by the way. We had 70 people there. We had 28 partners, just all sorts of goodness there. But you can know, if you've ever put on an event, you know how much of a production they can be, and especially if you're looking at 28 partners, that's a lot of communication having to happen. And we found out at the end of August that we got the grant, and we had it on October 12th. Really short timeline. Not a whole lot of time for fluff at all, but I think we did a really great job. So that was Thursday. Friday, I went to the Comerica's Women's Business Symposium. Saturday, I flew out to the NABO National Conference, which was really good. You know, I've definitely have been to the conference circuit, so I can't say that I was blown away by content, but I was blown away by the people in the room, and the conversations that I was having. So that made it worth it. And I got back Wednesday. And I ran my mastermind yesterday, and now it's Friday. And you know what? Actually, today, I took the day. I did some catch-up. I did some reaching out for phone calls I said I would make, some follow-up and things like that. But I've been out of the office since 11. Had lunch with my husband. I went and bought makeup because I could not get it in to my schedule beforehand. I'm just taking care of things, right? And it was interesting because I was having a conversation with another consultant who helps people out of overwhelm. And this, you know, she invited me into her program, and that's great and fine. I kind of think if you've gotten one conversation off of me and we're just talking business, probably not the best thing to do is put a sales pitch in there. But, you know, I thought it was really entertaining. So yesterday when I showed up for my mastermind, one of my clients said, they were like, "Oh my gosh, Leslie, you look double tired." And I was like, "Oh, does it show?" I was like, "I am tired. I've had a big push, but I'm not overwhelmed." Which is interesting. And so I wanted to talk about this because I think overwhelmed is one of those really overused words out there to describe a whole bunch of different things. So I want to tell you like what I see the difference between overwhelmed, overcommitted, and an intentional push. Like, what are those differences there? I think next week we'll talk a little bit about when you put the brakes on in your business, and you do a whole bunch of starts and stops, and your business just kind of chugs along. Because that's one of those things I'm trying to take out of my business. I had some amazing opportunities, but each of those opportunities that I've talked about has such a certain intention. Yes, they're coming very quickly together, but that's okay. I've made shifts in my business to allow me to do that. Brought on an operations manager, right? She's taking care of a lot of the details, and I keep throwing more at her. I think this week she's like, okay, enough. But part of it is that things are clicking and going, and we've got to be able to click and go along with them to take advantage of them. Now, I'm all about it being ease, but I think you have ebbs and flows, right? You're going to have times where you're pushing, where you're taking advantage of opportunities that have a real quick turnaround time, and it's intense. I can tell you that I got sick, right? In the middle of doing the event. My voice still isn't 100% back. And a lot of that was because I was burning the candle at both ends, kind of. I wasn't working long hours. I was just very intense when I was working. And that, I didn't take enough downtime. All right. And I know that. That happens to be who I am. I'm an immersion person. I jump 2 feet in, deep end, all in, all the time. And then I work until I'm done. And that's just who I am. But when I looked at what was coming onto this plate, I saw one thing. I saw a finish line. Like, I knew my finish line was yesterday. Okay, my Thursday, that was yesterday. And I was talking to my family about what I was pushing through and what that meant for the family and what we'd need to do together in order for all of this to happen. And we started talking about that in August, actually in July. Like, I could see it coming. So it was planned, number one. It was intentional. There were very good intentional reasons, and it already started to pay off, guys. I can't even begin to tell you. And there's short term. That, to me, is why I don't classify it as overwhelmed. Okay? Not that I didn't have a day. I'm human, right? Not that I didn't have a day where I felt like there was more work to be done than I could get done. Maybe that was an overwhelmed. I just called it a high stress day. But I wasn't in a state of overwhelmed. I think when you're in a state of overwhelm is when you feel like you're under the water every day. All the time. Every day of the month, every month of the year. That is a case to where you are locked in, probably into doing a lot more of the minutia than you need to be doing or worried about. Probably got locked into that busy is business. Well, busy is not good business. And it's an everyday, it's the new norm is for you. Okay. So that I can see as being overwhelmed. You know, that I'd say, okay, that's overwhelmed. Overcommitted. Was I overcommitted? No, but I was committed at 100%. Like, I knew where my commitment was, and I knew I was taking a choice to be committed at 95 or 100%. In fact, the last couple of weeks, people say, how are you doing? And because it's intentional, I said, you know what? I'm up to my eyeballs in gooey goodness, but I'm kind of ready for it to come down my shoulders. Because it was a lot. I got to tell you, I like taking it easy as much as the next person. But it was full capacity. I was at capacity. So I know that. So was I ever committed? No, I wasn't. Why? Because I knew where the deadline was. I knew where the marker was that was going to help me be able to push through. So I just want to say, as women, I've been on this little bit of a bandwagon that portrays women as victims in life and societal pressures, and all these things as if we don't have a choice. And we do have choices. And I will tell you, I chose to be committed. I chose to be 100% full for the last couple of months. And I have no regrets about it. Now, I got to tell you, the flip side of it is, yes, I did not take enough rest during the last month. One reason why I got sick, or who knows, I could have gotten sick anyways, because it's kids and the crud, and my kids brought it home, and I always catch what they have. Right? I didn't really have time for it, but I always catch what they have. But where I have planned for the next few weeks is all about wrapping up details, right? And then I go on vacation. Yay! Kids are at home. Mom's on a beach. And I won't have my phone. You won't see me. Chances are I won't be doing coaching from the carpool. Because you know what? Since I'm in immersion, I will be 110% immersed in my vacation and doing nothing and having to be nowhere and not talking, because that's actually how I enjoy my vacations. Thank God my husband understands me. But you think I was mad at him because I'll probably not talk to him for 2 days. and then we'll start talking again. But that's kind of what it is, right? Everyone has their own rhythm of work. Everyone has their own rhythms to getting things done. You may not be an immersion. You may be very deliberate, and you like to take it step by step by step, and that's okay too. So it's just a case of understanding the difference between what overwhelmed is, what overcommitted is, and then when it's actually an intentional push. Okay, because in business you have intentional pushes. You just have to allow for yourself to have recovery on the other side. So if I'm looking tired, I didn't really want to put on makeup. I put on a little bit for you because I had it in my purse. You're lucky, because if I hadn't had it in my purse, I wasn't going to worry about it. It's going to show up tired and all after a crazy 10 weeks. But that's good. It's all good. And I'm going to have launches a launch of some sort pretty much every month for the next 4 months. And so we'll be moderating it out, taking our time, asking for help, taking rest, enjoying Fridays. Sorry, my Plano Chamber BI peoples, but enjoying my Fridays means not getting up at 5:30 to be with you at 7:30 all the time. So I hope that helps. I'd love to hear, what do you do when you get that overwhelmed feeling? What do you do? How do you handle it in your business? Is it a every now and then thing, which case I won't say you're probably not overwhelmed, or is it an everyday thing, in which case we need to work some things in your business so that you're not so overwhelmed and you can actually enjoy things and choose to say yes to a lot of gooey goodness. So that's it for today, guys. This has been Leslie Hassler with your Biz Rules Business Coaching, and we're coaching from the Carpool. Join us most weekdays here on Facebook, 2:30-ish. Depends on when I get into the carpool line. And just because somebody was like, aren't you in Texas where you're not allowed to be on your phone? I'm parked. I'm always parked. See? Gymnastics van just pulled up next to me. We're in a parked carpool. See? I don't know if you can see all of that. There we go. We're parked. I'm parked. So I'm being safe. No tickets for me. But that's it, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful week and you have a wonderful weekend. Maybe ever so profitable. This has been Leslie Hassler, your Biz Rules Business Coaching from the Carpool.